Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. This is my first video and I'm really excited to share this journey with you. So recently I acquired, shall we say, 2 Syrian hamsters. Now, I'm not an expert in hamster care. I had one hamster when I was 6 and I'll be honest with you, he probably got neglected because I was too young. The internet wasn't what it was now, so we were relying on the advice from Pets at Home and those kind of pet suppliers, which isn't, let's be honest, the best advice. So yeah, it was a good journey for me these past few weeks while I was getting them settled, and I thought it'd be really good to share that journey with you and get some advice, because YouTube has been one of the greatest forms of information for me. I've really enjoyed watching everyone's videos and channels, and I'm really excited to be a part of that, really. It's not going to be an informative channel, shall we say. It's going to just be a journey of my learnings and my personal experiences, and I want to share with you their growth. And if you guys have any feedback or advice or even suggestions, please let me know, because I want to give them the best life that I can, and I want them to be happy little hamsters. So let me tell you the story about how I acquired them. So Maisie was first. Maisie is a beautiful white Syrian. She's got these see-through ears that are just gorgeous. And I did actually purchase her, and it was a spontaneous decision, which I don't recommend and I don't advise. But nonetheless, I'll be honest with you, it was. I was at Pets at Home, at my local Pets at Home store. I was purchasing dog food because I have 3 dogs. You can probably hear them in the background because they are very vocal dogs. And I turned the corner in the pet shop to go to pay, and there was this little white, gorgeous hamster just clawing at the cage as if she wanted to get out, and I don't know what it was. I must have been feeling emotional at that stage, because my heart just broke, and honestly I couldn't leave, and I felt like I needed to take her with me. I don't know why, but I did. So yeah, I ended up purchasing her for £10, and her conditions weren't great. She was in a very small box cage, and she had one of these small flying saucer wheels, and that was the only enrichment that was in her cage, really. There was no one else, and like I say, she was just clawing to get out. So the lady came up to me and I asked if I could take her home, and sorry for the background noise, my window's open because it's roasting. And I asked if I could take her home, and we were discussing cage options, because I didn't have a cage, I didn't have anything, I wasn't prepared, I hadn't done my research, so I didn't know what the best options were, which was really silly of me, really. So I took the advice of the Pets at Home person, and I honestly thought that small cages were fine. I thought, why would a pet shop sell them if they're not? So I took her advice, and I got the largest cage that they did, because they only had 1 cage type for Syrians at the time in stock. It was £45 and it was 69 centimetres by about 40 centimetres. So it gave me roughly the bare minimum cage size, so just above 450 square metres of space. But I didn't have much enrichment, so I just had the wheel that came with the cage, which was tiny. It's probably a 6-inch wheel, so it was really small. And also, I had no form of enrichment. I had no toys in there. I just thought, it's fine. I also purchased sawdust, which isn't great for hamsters. I've now come to know from following everyone on YouTube and seeing their channels. And yeah, so for the first week of Maisie coming home, her cage wasn't really up to par, I'll be honest with you. And as soon as I brought her home, I did loads of research because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I was getting it right. So I found out obviously about sawdust and the respiratory problems that it can cause. So I switched my bedding to, what did I switch it to? The paper-based bedding. I think it's Clean Fresh. I don't know, I can't remember, my brain's fried. And then I switched out the cage, so I purchased a Detolf, and I also picked up some of the magazine holders to use as platforms because I was struggling to find Syrian platforms for the cages, and I just thought it'd be a really good option. I got the idea from Victoria Rachel. She used them, so I purchased those, and I started forage feeding, so scattering their food over the cage so that they could find it. And I got a 11-inch wheel because I couldn't fit the 12-inch in the Detolf. So an 11-inch wheel, which she loves, and she seems a lot happier in her new cage. But I am going to switch it up because now I've had some advice and now I've had some inspiration. I really want a German-inspired natural cage. So I am literally going to do a massive hamster haul, which I'm excited about, and I'll share with you guys. So that was the story of Maisie. Now, it's been about 2 months since I brought her home, and she's only just started to become tame because she was so nervous. And I don't know whether it was because of the way she was handled at Pets at Home or whether it's just because she's just a genuine, you know, very timid, nervous hamster. But she would flinch at the slightest touch. She would go to bite my finger. And she just wasn't happy. She would wait and come out really, really late at night and be in her bed before, you know, daylight, and she just wouldn't interact. So it's taken a long time of me slowly putting my hands in the cage and putting treats on them, and, you know, I've taken her out and put her in the bathtub. She really didn't like that. And I started putting her on my bed for like a free roam, but a safe free roam. And that's when she started coming out of her shell. So she started climbing up my t-shirts, and I've been able to stroke her while she's been on my chest. She'll go in and walk through my hands. And yeah, she's just seeming to be a totally different hamster. She hasn't bit me once, she hasn't gone to bite me, she hasn't flinched. So I finally feel like we're on the right track with her. And I feel like I'm really bonding with her. She gets excited now when I go to open the cage. So yeah, if anyone's struggling with the taming process, just stick with it, guys. It is so rewarding when you come through, and it can take some time. Like I say, 2 months, and I was slowly starting to lose hope, but she's just amazing. She's lovely. So yeah, that's Maisie. Then next I acquired a male Syrian called Rubius, as in Rubius Hagrid. So I love it. I love the name. Not many people do, but whatever. So Rubius, like I said, is a male Syrian. I got him when he was about 8 weeks old, and he's literally only been with me for a couple of days. So we are still very, very early on in the taming process, and I haven't touched him because I want him to get used to his cage. So he is also living in a Detolf because I just find that they're quite cheap for the amount of space that you get, and I was able to pick one up for £15 with a lid, so that was a bargain. So yeah, he was a bit nervous of the space of the cage, and he's still getting used to it, and I wasn't really prepared again for him, but I joined a site for rescuing hamsters, and there was a lady who had rescued a hamster who had an accidental litter, and she was essentially giving them away to, you know, caring homes, and she was really struggling. She was down to the last 5. It was a litter of 14 pups. So I said I'd take one because I had Maisie's old cage in the meantime, and I felt helpless. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a hero complex or something, but I felt like I needed this hamster in my life and I needed to give it a good home. So I brought him home in a lovely little pet carrier, and I'd love to show you actually. So let me get it down. Because I struggled with pet carriers because I felt like they were quite expensive for what you get. So the ones at Pets at Home were £15, maybe £16, which probably doesn't sound a lot, but when you've just purchased, you know, every other accessory for hamsters and you have to purchase that as well, it is a bit much. So I went to online and I got it from Argos. They are so loud outside. Okay, carrying on. So I went to Argos, and some of the reviews were a bit misleading because they were saying how small they were and not really suitable. But look, I think it is quite big and chunky and deep, so I could put a lot of substrate in when I went to collect him. It's got a lovely little pop top, so it comes out and lifts up. It's a lot easier when you're actually facing it. So lovely, and he was very, very safe in it, and it clipped into the seatbelt. So all in all, it was like £5, and it was a bloody bargain. So yeah, you don't have to get the most expensive things for it to be good. So, and that I can use all the time when I'm taking them to the vets or when I'm transporting them from one cage to another. So I'm really pleased with that purchase. So anyway, that is Rubius. At the moment, he's still very timid. I've tried my best to just leave him alone, to settle in his cage. He's not going to be, you know, rushed into it. I'm going to take my time with him and do it properly. So I'm going to follow the same approach with Maisie and get him used to my hands being in the cage first, and then I will probably take him out for a bit of free roaming and start to bond with him like that. So my 2 Syrians. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a big hamster haul on payday. I'm going to get lots of natural themed products. I've been researching different substrates because I want to put some different textures in there. I need a bigger sand bath because they love the sand baths, so I want to get quite a decent size. I've also got some coconut soil on order and some coconut shaving things back. So yeah, I'm going to try and do a bit of a mixture so that they've got different textures, different levels, and I'm really excited. So bear with me, guys, and the next video is going to be redesigning the cage and, you know, getting that natural hamster look. And I'll share with you the first video of my 2 beautiful hamsters, and you can kind of get a feel for the vibe. I feel like these are going to be happy hamsters. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for bearing with me because it is my first video. If you've got any advice or comments, let me know down below. And if you want to follow Maisie and Rubius, their journey, then subscribe, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in a week's time to show you what's been going on. See you later.